This is a Gouldian finch. It is a type of bird native to Australia, and they're actually rather popular pet. Now, currently in Australia, it is illegal to export these to the pet trade because they are now considered to be endangered. However, I think you can still get some bred in captivity. They are rather small and mainly eat things like seeds from the different types of grasses. In the wild, there are three types of color morphs: the black-headed, the gold-headed, and the red-headed, with the black being the most common and the gold being the least common and actually quite rare to see. It used to be thought that these were actually three distinct types of finches, but analysis has confirmed that they are all within the same species, just different phenotypes, kind of like how people sometimes have red hair or blue eyes or something like that. It's just genetic variation within the same species. However, interestingly enough, this small variation can actually help the female Gouldian finch choose the sex of her offspring after mating. There is some level of genetic incompatibility between the two different phenotypes of the blackhead and the redhead. I don't think there's really any information about the goldhead because they are quite rare, so I don't think they have been factored into this. So when a female Gouldian finch chooses a mate, she will most likely be either a redhead or a blackhead. And if she chooses to mate with one of the same head color, so if a redhead female chooses to mate with a redhead male, then the ratio of male and female offspring are typically the same, about 50-50. Same thing if a black-headed male and a black-headed female mate. However, if one of the parents is a different head color, then the genetic incompatibility comes into play, and there is a very high mortality rate of the female offspring. This results in many of the female embryos being just not viable, and up to 4 times more male embryos being produced. And apparently this is used to kind of sex bias and just weed out any genetic weaknesses within the group, I guess. Now, the exact mechanisms about how and why this happens isn't 100% understood, but it is still interesting regardless. Then, either way, whatever happens with this, the baby birds are produced. And these are the infant Gouldian finches, and you can see their mouths are quite interesting looking. Now, it is a kind of common urban legend about people who breed and keep these that those little nodules, they produce light. Now, that whole area is called the gape, and those little nodes are called tubercles, and they are just in the baby finches. As the babies mature, those tend to disappear. And they do not glow, they do not produce their own light. However, they do kind of reflect light, which makes it seem like they do produce their own, but it is just a reflection of other light. And those are there to assist the parent birds in feeding in low light conditions, because when the light is reflected off of those, the parents can see exactly where the mouth is, and it just makes it a little bit easier to feed the baby birds.